UK deportation records smashed in 2024. Join me as I dive into the shocking numbers and explore the UK deportation record set for 2024. We'll break down not just the figures, but the human stories behind them, and examine why this year could be pivotal for immigration and deportation policies in the UK. Let's talk about UK deportation records and why 2024 is shaping up to be such an important year. The topic of deportation is a deeply emotional and complex issue, and this year we are seeing staggering numbers that have raised eyebrows across the board. The UK is facing record-high deportations, and the implications of this trend are causing intense debate and discussion. The UK immigration system has faced several challenges in recent years, with rising deportation numbers being just one of the many pressing issues. Public opinion plays a significant role in shaping immigration policies, and it's clear that the British public remains divided. On one side, there are those who advocate for stricter deportation policies to maintain national security and protect British jobs. On the other side, human rights activists argue that these policies are inhumane and violate basic rights. So, let's talk numbers. In 2023 alone, the UK deported around 12,000 people. These deportations included individuals from various continents, with deportations to Europe, Africa, and the Caribbean being particularly significant. For instance, nearly 3,000 people were deported to European countries, mainly under the EU-UK readmission agreement, which allows the UK to return individuals to European Union countries if they have passed through those countries before reaching the UK. In terms of deportations to Africa, the numbers are striking. In 2023, over 2,700 people were deported to African nations, including Ghana, Nigeria, and Zimbabwe. Nigeria alone saw a large number of deportations, with approximately 800 Nigerian citizens being removed from the UK last year. This number is expected to grow in 2024 as deportation flights to West Africa continue at an increased pace. Deportations to Jamaica and other Caribbean nations have also garnered considerable attention, with over 200 individuals deported to Jamaica in 2023. These deportations have led to widespread protests due to the high-profile nature of many cases. Several deportees had lived in the UK for decades, raising questions about the fairness and morality of sending them back to countries they may no longer have significant ties to. Deportations to the Middle East and South Asia are also on the rise. In 2023, the UK deported approximately 1,000 people to countries such as Afghanistan, Iraq, and Pakistan. The situation in Afghanistan has been particularly contentious. Despite ongoing conflict in the region, the UK government has continued deportations, leading to legal challenges and human rights concerns. In fact, in one high-profile case, a young Afghan man was deported despite having lived in the UK for over a decade. The UK's growing use of charter flights to deport large groups of individuals at once has been a major factor in these numbers. Charter flights are often used to deport people en masse, which can lead to concerns about due process and the treatment of individuals on board. In 2023, there were over 50 charter flights, with many flights destined for African and Caribbean nations, as well as Eastern European countries. So why is the UK government pushing so hard for deportations, and why now? The answer lies in both domestic and international factors. Domestically, immigration has become a major political issue, especially after Brexit. Politicians in the Conservative Party have made tough immigration policies a key part of their platform, and increasing deportations is a way for them to show they're taking action. Internationally, the UK has agreements with certain countries that allow for the return of individuals who have overstayed their visas or whose asylum claims have been rejected. One of the main challenges facing the UK immigration system is the sheer volume of cases it's dealing with. The backlog of asylum applications has grown to over 170,000, putting the system under immense pressure. Many of those awaiting decisions have been in the UK for years, and the delays have created a situation where the system struggles to keep up with new arrivals. While the government's goal of reducing immigration numbers is clear, the consequences of these deportation policies are not without controversy. The deportation of individuals to countries like Afghanistan, Iraq, and Jamaica has raised serious concerns about the human cost of these policies. These deportees often face dangerous conditions upon their return, particularly in war-torn regions such as Afghanistan. One high-profile case is that of Ahmed, a young Afghan man who came to the UK as a refugee. Ahmed fled the Taliban and sought asylum in the UK. He lived here for over a decade, building a life, working, and contributing to society. However, despite these strong ties, Ahmed was deported back to Afghanistan in early 2024, a country still facing severe instability. His story is just one of many, and it highlights the human impact of these deportation policies. Jamaica has also seen a sharp increase in deportations, with 200 individuals being sent back in 2023 alone. Many of these people had lived in the UK for decades, arriving as children during the Windrush era. The Windrush scandal continues to cast a long shadow over UK immigration policy, with many questioning whether lessons have truly been learned. One such case is that of a mother of 3, born in Jamaica, but who had lived in the UK since she was 12. Despite having British-born children, she was deported in 2023, leaving her family in turmoil. Let's not forget Europe. Around 3,000 deportations were to European countries in 2023 under the UK-EU readmission agreements. This allows the UK to return individuals who traveled through EU countries before arriving in the UK. The majority of these deportations are to countries like Poland, Romania, and Albania, which have established agreements with the UK to accept deportees. The increase in deportations is also tied to the UK's points-based immigration system, which was introduced post-Brexit. This system makes it easier for the government to deport individuals who do not meet certain criteria, such as having a valid work permit or visa. It's clear that policy changes have played a significant role in the rise of deportations, and as the government continues to adjust its immigration laws, we're likely to see these numbers increase. What are the long-term consequences of these record-breaking deportation figures? On one level, they reflect the government's commitment to reducing immigration, but on another level, they raise serious questions about the impact on communities and the individuals being deported. The government argues that deportations are necessary to maintain the integrity of the immigration system, but critics point out the human toll that these policies can take. The rise in deportations has also led to a wave of legal challenges. Human rights organizations argue that the UK is not living up to its international obligations, particularly when it comes to asylum seekers and refugees. Many of these legal challenges have focused on the use of charter flights, with claims that individuals are being deported without proper access to legal representation or the ability to appeal their cases. The question remains, what does the future hold for UK deportation policies? As we move through 2024, it's clear that the debate over immigration and deportation is far from over. Will public opinion shift in favor of more humane treatment of migrants, or will the government continue to push for even higher deportation numbers? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain. This is an issue that will continue to dominate headlines. Thank you for joining me today as we took a closer look at the numbers and stories behind the UK's record-breaking deportations in 2024. This is a conversation that we need to keep having, and I encourage you to share your thoughts in the comments below. Stay tuned for more in-depth discussions on this and other important topics.